Welcome to my first mock draft made public for the 2020 NFL Draft. This is a one-round predictive style mock involving trades and a brief explanation of each pick. I hope you enjoy the video as much as I enjoyed making it, and encourage you to leave comments below. With that, the Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock. With the first pick in the draft, the Bengals select Joe Burrow. After a historic season in college football, ending in a national championship victory, Burrow has shown the NFL that he is ready to step up and lead a football team in Cincinnati that has a better roster than many believe. With the second pick, the Redskins select Chase Young. Young is probably the best player in the draft, and that makes this selection easy for Washington. Even though this isn't a position of need, Young is a generational talent that shouldn't be passed up. With the third pick, the Lions select Jeff Okudah. This spot is prime for a trade, although with both the Dolphins and Chargers seemingly content with at least two of the three remaining top quarterbacks, this spot may be a little too rich for them. With that being, the Lions are getting the lockdown corner that Matt Patricia has coveted since he left New England. With the fourth pick, the Giants select Isaiah Simmons. Offensive line is a popular choice for the Giants at this spot, and for good reason. The allure of a player with Simmons' talent and versatility can help them defend star players like Zach Ertz and Ezekiel Elliott, allowing them to compete for the NFC East title once more. With the fifth pick, the Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa. Tank for Tua is now complete. The Dolphins have shown that they are comfortable waiting for their guy. The wait for a franchise quarterback is over, and the time is now with the AFC East wide open after Tom Brady's departure. With the sixth pick, the Chargers select Justin Herbert. Tyrod Taylor will be the starting quarterback as of Week 1, and this allows the Chargers to take their favorite quarterback left on the board. They were burned in a similar draft in the past by Eli Manning. It is rumored that they preferred Ben Roethlisberger over Philip Rivers, but had to live with who the Giants selected. This time, they get their preferred style of quarterback over the gunslinging style of Jordan Love. We have a trade. The Dolphins jump back into the top 10, while the Panthers turn one first-round pick into two to begin their rebuild. With the seventh pick, the Dolphins select Jedrick Wills. After getting Tua, the next logical step is to protect him. The Dolphins move back into the top 10 to grab the best tackle in the draft, who is experienced guarding Tua's blind side on the right side of the line. With the eighth pick, the Cardinals select Tristan Wirfs. The new age offense in the NFL continues to rely heavily on winning the line of scrimmage. Kyler Murray's elusiveness does help lessen the need for a strong offensive line, although as we've seen in the past with Michael Vick and recently with Cam Newton, any style quarterback is only as successful as the protection in front of him. With the ninth pick, the Jaguars select Jerry Jeudy. After taking their defense down to the studs, the philosophy in Jacksonville appears to be changing. The decade of high-powered offenses is starting, and Jacksonville may have stumbled onto a franchise quarterback in Gardner Minshew. They get him a true number one target to pair alongside DJ Chark, creating a 1A, 1B scenario out wide. We have another trade. The Raiders move up to the number 10 spot and give the Browns their number 19 pick, two of their third-round picks, and a future fourth in return. With the 10th pick, the Raiders select Derrick Brown, a complete game wrecker in the middle of defense. Brown is too good to pass up at this point in the draft. He could go as early as number 3 overall, and the Raiders stop his slide. He immediately slides into the Rod Marinelli rotation and makes this Raiders defense look pretty intimidating. With the 11th pick, the Jets select Andrew Thomas. At one point, Thomas was the top available tackle prospect, and while he hasn't done anything to change that view, he has become somewhat of an afterthought in the media. The Jets finally get Sam Darnold protection, and now we get to see what he's really made of. With the 12th pick, the Raiders select Henry Ruggs. After watching Tyreek Hill help the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, Gruden starts banging the table for a player of Ruggs' skill set. General Manager Mike Mayock sticks with last year's big school theme and starts getting Derek Carr some receivers to throw the ball to after reiterating his confidence in him this offseason. We have another trade. The 49ers move back to number 22 and obtain a second and third round pick by sending over their number 13 pick and a 6th round to Minnesota. With the 13th pick, the Vikings select C.J. Henderson. The Vikings had no need for a cornerback at the beginning of last season, although a need for the position has developed quickly. Henderson has separated himself as the consensus number 2 corner in this draft, and the Vikings ensure that if the injury bug continues to plague the position, they have sufficient cover. With the 14th pick, the Buccaneers select Mekhi Becton. Protecting Tom Brady is the number one goal now, and Becton provides the best chances of solidifying the tackle position. His versatility allows him to play either side of the line should Donovan Smith need to be moved over to the right. With the 15th pick, the Broncos select CeeDee Lamb. All signs point to Drew Lock being under center for the 2020 season, and Elway will be compelled to give his quarterback the best chances of success. The offensive line does need a rejuvenation. CeeDee's game-changing abilities are just too good for Denver to pass on. With the 16th pick, the Falcons select K'Lavon Chaisson. The Falcons seem to search for pass rush help every offseason, and this year that continues. Chaisson has immense potential and can develop into a vital part of any defense. In Atlanta, he provides them with some flexibility at both the edge rusher and linebacker positions. With the 17th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Javon Kinlaw. Dallas continues their defensive overhaul with the addition of Kinlaw. Alongside free agent additions Gerald McCoy and Dontari Poe, Kinlaw will help turn a weakness into a massive strength. Kinlaw could go much earlier than this pick. Concerns on his knee have continued to develop in a similar way that saw Jonathan Allen fall to the same spot and division. With the 18th pick, the Panthers select Xavier McKinney. Moving back in the draft helps Matt Rhule begin his transformation of Carolina. In McKinney, the Panthers are getting a versatile defender that can play multiple positions in the secondary and occasionally linebacker on passing downs. With the 19th pick, the Browns select Austin Jackson. It's no secret that the Browns are more than likely drafting a left tackle in this year's first round. With Jackson, they get a player with all-pro talent with the proper coaching on how to clean up his game. They do have Chris Hubbard to lean on in the event Jackson needs to sit a year. With the 20th pick, the Jaguars select Trayvon Diggs. Where Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Bouye previously lined up, Trey Herndon and D.J. Hayden now stand. Taking Diggs allows Hayden to continue as a nickel corner, and Rashaan Melvin can always temporarily step in for Diggs if he shows signs of struggle. We have another trade. The Packers repeat last year by moving up to number 21 from the 30 spot. They already know what the cost will be, so negotiations go quickly and they send over the 94th and 136th pick to Philly. With the 21st pick, the Packers select Jordan Love. There is no doubt that Aaron Rodgers is the man in Green Bay. Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers seem to work well together, and Jordan Love is not going to change that. LaFleur looks long-term with this pick and gives Love at least 2 years of sitting behind Rodgers, who is getting closer to 40 than not, to develop his game. With the 22nd pick, the 49ers select Neville Gallimore. After moving on from DeForest Buckner and expanding one pick into many, the 49ers at some point need to deal with the void left behind. Gallimore can step in and compete for time with Solomon Thomas from the start of camp at the position. With the 23rd pick, the Patriots select Jalen Hurts. Jarrett Stidham could be the heir to Tom Brady, and maybe the Patriots have all the confidence that he will be their guy. At one point, they believed Jimmy Garoppolo was their quarterback of the future, and that didn't stop Jacoby Brissett from being drafted. Similar situation minus Brady with Hurts, competing with Stidham to line up under center week 1. With the 24th pick, the Saints select DeAndre Swift. Latavius Murray has done well filling that role that Mark Ingram left behind, and Kamara is one of the best running backs in the league. One may believe there isn't much room in the backfield for Swift, although another former Bulldog, Sony Michel, has worked well in a crowded backfield. Swift can help add another element to an already potent offense in New Orleans. With the 25th pick, the Vikings select A.J. Epinesa. After watching Everson Griffin and Stephen Weatherly leave in free agency, the Vikings could use a player along the line. Epinesa may not be the most explosive pass rusher in this draft. He still gets the job done and will fit nicely on the opposite end of Danielle Hunter. With the 26th pick, the Panthers select Christian Fulton. Since Josh Norman's departure, the Panthers have been pretty average in the secondary. Fulton has the skill set of a top corner in the NFL, and paired alongside a ball hawk like Dante Jackson, he could create a dynamic duo to compete with the insane quarterback and receiver talent in the NFC South. With the 27th pick, the Seahawks select Lloyd Cushenberry. The Seahawks still need help along the offensive line. It's about time they get Russell Wilson some protection. With current starting center Justin Britt coming off an injury with 1 year left on his deal and a sky-high cap number, Cushenberry can give the Seahawks the option to move on from Britt this year or even try him out at the guard position. With the 28th pick, the Ravens select Patrick Queen. It's no secret that linebacker is a need in Baltimore. I wouldn't be surprised if both linebackers are gone at this point, although talented linebackers have slipped in the past and many teams seem to have more pressing needs. This works out in the Ravens' favor as they get one of the best talents in college football in the first round. With the 29th pick, the Titans select Yetur Gross-Matos. You can never have too many pass rushers, and even after the addition of Vic Beasley, the Titans could still use a young edge to develop. Gross-Matos has the size and frame that other edge players on the Titans lack. He can mold into a premier disruptor on the line of scrimmage within Mike Vrabel's defense. With the 30th pick, the Eagles select Grant Delpit. The Eagles could be looking at receiver, although they do have more pressing needs on the defense. Jalen Mills being moved over to safety seems like a last-ditch attempt to make a talented player fit into a system that just doesn't match. Delpit can immediately step in the role left behind by Malcolm Jenkins, and his tackling issues can be coached out of him. With the 31st pick, the 49ers select Justin Jefferson. Losing Emmanuel Sanders is a bigger loss to this offseason than many believe. Jefferson will help fill a piece of that void with his ability to play on the outside and in the slot. The 49ers will also be looking for Jalen Hurd to help fill what's left as long as he can stay healthy in 2020. With the 32nd pick, the Chiefs select Kenneth Murray. The Chiefs have a lot of players that are about to get paid, and while this is a great problem to have, it can become troublesome when players like Anthony Hitchens are eating a lot of that cap space. I'm a firm believer in Hitchens being an all-pro talent, although the Chiefs may not feel that way anymore, and Murray gives them a younger player on a rookie deal who can develop into an upgrade at the position. Thanks for watching. Like if you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below with what picks you liked, what picks you didn't, and who you think your favorite team should select.